We have the ear of corn here that we haven't processed yet. It's called, we're just gonna shuck the corn, which means just to kind of take the outer off. So you just pull the most visible part off. You start here and you pull. Once you pull your first strip down like I just did, you break off the end and you pull it up with the rest of it. Now the silk are these little hairy pieces that you see here. You can kind of just pull them off quickly. It's really in piece right here. And you can see where the corn ends in this. Okay, so we cut this off, stand it up, and take your knife, you just cut down. And then you cut down, and one more turn. We're pretty much done here. We have a little bit here. I want to cut it. So we have this. We're pretty much done. And all you do is you take your two ends of the corn and you kind of just break it in half. Here we have a pot. Have a pot with a top. We're gonna turn this 3 cups of water. Turn our 3 cups of water onto medium heat. We're gonna put our cobs in the water. One more. You just need to break. Pretty much. So basically, a cup of water for every ear. Fair enough. You're gonna let this come to a boil a little bit, and we're gonna put the top on it. And once it simmers for about 20 minutes, we're good to go. Ingredients for the soup include celery, carrots, bell peppers. Red would be great, but I only have orange and yellow, so that's what we're gonna use. And I have this very peculiar red onion here with like a little leek attachment, and that I got from the farmer's market, and onions. So you want it to be colorful. Orange slash red, white, orange, yellow, orange, green. Let's get it. In our Dutch oven, we have about a tablespoon, 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon olive oil. You can see the onion in there. Let's see if we can get a close up on that. You can see the onion in there starting to cook, starting to dance around, look like it's starting to fry a little bit. What we're going to do now is we're going to start to add the ingredients. We don't need this pan to be super duper hot. These are onions. I'm going to turn it down to medium low. You don't need the pan to be super duper hot, because you really kind of just want to. Well, we have our onions sweating it out. We are going to come over to our cobs in the pot, and we are just going to take the cobs out. We have slight color, but that's okay. We don't have a lot of color. We don't have brown onions, which is cool. So we're going to put in our celery. We're going to put in our bell pepper. And we're going to put in our carrots. It's been about 5 minutes. We have our vegetables in here. They're nice and soft. You can have some color on the bottom, which at low you can still achieve. Here we have a very small potato diced up. And we're just going to stir, give that a good stir in there. This is the point where I usually cut off the camera and let everything happen behind the scenes. But I got one more trick for you. At this point, we're going to add in a little bit of garlic. This is just a little shredder. It's called a microplane, and 1 clove of garlic. over here, I'm just going to jump over a little bit. We have our stock. It's called the corn stock. And that's why you can make your own stock in 20 minutes from Corn Chowder. I have my heat on medium. I'm going to keep it there because I'm going to reduce some of this down a little bit. Again, one quick stir. I'm going to pour some of the stock. After I use this pot with the stock. And then, ooh, it smells so good. And if you're like, I'm not doing all that corn cob stock, I just came from work, I just want some soup in 20 minutes, I can't be bothered with, cool. What you can do is, if you don't choose to be bothered with the corn stock, corn cob stock, you can just use chicken broth or you can use vegetable broth. Either way is perfectly fine. Just make sure you have about 2.5 to 3 cups. This is more like a stew because it's very, very chunky. And got this nice looking, you got to call this a corn chowder for real. There is no need for you to play games. If you're gonna make a chowder, make it chunky. Keep them vegetables in there. Get them in there. The black pepper and a little bit or a lot of bit of salt, depending on your taste. At this point, you stir it. I am going to say you stir it and you taste it, and you take it from there. I'm just gonna let this get acquainted, you know, like introductions. So I'm gonna let this get acquainted with each other for a little bit, and we're gonna come back when it's at a slow simmer, and that's when we're gonna add our corn and one more treat. By the way, at this point, if you have fresh herbs and you want to put them in here for whatever reason, you like basil and you like basil in your soup, go ahead. I just have one sprig of thyme, and I'm not even going to put the whole thing in here. I'm actually just going to take off some of the branches at the bottom and kind of just leave this. This is all I'm going for, this part. Because this stem has plenty of flavor all this on, and I really, corn is so delicate, sensitive, and I don't want the thyme to overpower any of that. If you don't do the corn method, you could just get you a package of corn just like this, and you could use this. If you don't do the corn method, you could just get you a package of corn just like this, and you could use this. Okay, we're gonna pour in, oops, sorry. We're gonna pour in our corn here. Very good. Then we're gonna pour in about a cup of this half and half. And it's gonna give us a nice, creamy, silky texture. This is that thyme leaf. We're good to go. We don't need it anymore. And this is a nice, good, hearty chowder. It's about. And we're just gonna let this simmer for 5 minutes more, and we are good, ready to eat. Okay, we're done. This is our soup. We have just a little dollop of sour cream and a little bit of green onion on top, and it looks delicious. I hope you enjoy.